What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Pregame, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I am Peck, Bulls_Peck. My guy, Big Dave, bam, BAWL Sports. Our pal and producer on the controls, Joey Spethis. At Joey Spethis. Our guy, the GOAT, at the UC, reporting from tonight's game live. Follow him for his in-game updates. Will_Gottlieb.
Yes.
Big game tonight, gentlemen.
Big game.
Big game. Joey, are you ready for the biggest Bulls game of the season?
Daytime who? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I am ready.
Say that's called a tease, is what that's called.
I am ready.
I mean, you can legit make the argument that the stakes have never been higher this season.
You can't. Go ahead. Keep going. No,
I'm just saying. Bulls Hawks. Battle for the 9th seed. Huge game. The Bulls already own the tiebreaker because they've already gotten 2 W's against the Hawks, and this is their third and final regular season matchup.
Okay.
But on top of that, if they beat the Hawks for a third time tonight, they will now have a 2.5 game lead.
It's big.
With 6 to play for the Bulls. Pretty much like they would have to lose 5 of their last 6 while the Hawks win more than they lose down the stretch for the Bulls to then fall beneath the Hawks because as long as they finish with at least the same record, the Bulls have that 9th seed and home court in that 9-10 play-in matchup. And the Bulls have a very winnable game staring them in the face because this Hawks team is still decimated by injuries, Dave.
They are, but this Hawks team definitely still wins, even though they're decimated by injury.
They're frisky.
They're very frisky, and they've beaten some really good teams as of late. But it feels like they're kind of finding their way, even without Trae Young being in there. Still having a guy like Dejounte Murray who can drop 40 on you at any point in time, it's still an issue. Like I said, every time they play, it's a dogfight. It's a close game. Every single time they play, those two teams just kind of match up really well when it comes to playing each other. So one team has got a ton of wings, the other team has got a ton of guards, and it just seems to work every single time when they play each other. But they've got guys out. Bulls definitely have guys out. But Bulls keep winning. Hopefully they can tonight.
You know, you mentioned the crazy barn burner type of games that the Bulls and Hawks have tended to play against each other for the last, not just this season, but the last several years. It seems like there's always these crazy dramatic games, high-scoring games. These are two teams whose defenses have both struggled mightily this season. Hawks, over their past 15 games, have the 22nd ranked defense in the NBA. The Bulls, a little bit behind that, actually. But both of these Bulls wins from earlier this season, December 26th, the Bulls got a 118-113 win, and then in February, a 136-126 win, which at the time I know was a Bulls season high in their point total. I can't recall if they've put up more than 136 since then, but my guess would be no, because 136 is a lot for this Bulls team that is offensively challenged.
Yes, definitely. And it feels like the Bulls just find their groove offensively and then lose it.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll find it and then they'll lose it. Then they'll find it and then lose it again. Then lose it one more time. But then find it again, then keep losing it. And that's why they kind of hover, as Matt says. They might be 2 games back, might be 4 games back.
Right now,
always 3.
They're 3. Which actually means that after the results of tonight's game, they will either be 2 or 4.
Yeah, be right there. So
this theory still checks out.
It's a pretty good theory, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in the comments. TR, Gio, Zach, who said Bulls aren't playing tonight. April Fools. I wish you were right, but they are. Drew is saying my body is ready. TR saying can't believe we're talking about seeding in the play-in again. Ugh. Well,
here we are.
I can. The Bulls are getting, I mean, knock on wood, you know I love being right.
Oh, my God. Yes, more than anything.
I can't recall. Do you remember what your beginning of the season prediction was for their win-loss record?
No, it was probably like 40 plus, like 44 or something like that.
If I recall, I think you were the highest of all of us.
Sounds about right.
But you were in like the low to mid-40s.
Okay, all right.
I predicted 40 and 42,
Ooh.
which is still so in the wheelhouse
it's right
possibility.
There. Oh.
Like,
let me ask this question. If it meant the Bulls could move up to like 8, or they stay right there and you be right, which one would you take?
Well, you know I'm always taking being right.
Okay.
I'm always taking that.
All right.
But so as of right now, the Bulls are 4 games behind Philly,
Okay.
who are in 8th at 40 and 35. The Bulls are 36 and 39. So the Bulls would basically have to win out.
Yeah.
And watch Philly drop several more for the Bulls to jump into 8th. It seems right now that unless the Bulls lose a bunch of games and the Hawks continue their hot streak, the Bulls are pretty firmly planted in 9th, and then especially if they win this game tonight, even more so firmly planted in 9th. But 36 and 39, 40 and 42 just means that they go 4 and 3 down the stretch,
right there,
which is very possible.
Right there, man. It's right there to being right, baby.
Their 2 wins against Atlanta earlier this season were both kind of strange. The first of which, Trae Young was in there doing the get bottled up by Io, Caruso, whoever.
Yeah.
Trae, we've seen him struggle against the Bulls. He had 6 turnovers in that game. He was 3 of 12 from downtown, I believe. Did not have a good night shooting. I think 6 of 17 overall. Ugh. And the hero for the Bulls in that one, when Vooch had one of his very brief absences this season, was Andre Drummond in the starting lineup, who put up 24 and 25 rebounds.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wait, were we at that game?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. I just remember. We did go to a game where we saw him have one of those games.
No, that was the day after Christmas. So
Okay.
I'm guessing we did not go.
Oh,
down.
I was at that game.
You went to that game.
Yes, I was at that game.
And I was here working.
That's what it was. Took my nephew to that game, man. I knew it was
right.
real. I was like, wait, that sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah. So
Shout out
you
to
were
him.
at
So
that
yes,
game.
I was definitely at that game. watching it.
And then their February win, the super high scoring affair, the February 12th win over Atlanta, Io poured in a then career high 29, and we have seen him since break that career high 2 or 3 more times.
Yes.
And then he was one of 4 of the 5 Bulls starters, all of whom poured in 20 plus points. Vooch, DeMar, Coby, and Io all had 20 plus in a very balanced night of scoring for the Bulls. And so this one, again, will be a bit different as far as who's in and who's out for each of these teams. But it seems like it just doesn't matter over the last few years when it's Bulls-Hawks, because anything can happen and most likely crazy shit will happen.
Every single time. Somebody on their team's going to catch fire. Somebody on the Bulls team is going to catch fire. They won't be able to separate from each other. Somebody's going to go up 15, come back, tie it. So, it'll just be a clutch game, which the Bulls usually succeed in. It's only one thing we're trying to avoid, you know what I mean, in those kind of games right there. We don't want to see this 4 overtime game happen again. But I'm cool with it still being a tight game. I want to see entertaining basketball. I don't want it to be bad basketball and tight.
Yeah.
And the good thing about those 2 teams is, honestly, it's not bad basketball when they play each other. They're actually, like we said, doing astronomical things, and guys are having career highs and hitting incredible shots. And we saw a game where they won on the last second shot, and then the Bulls won on the last second shot. So it's never bad basketball when they play, but it's always like, wow, I can't believe we're on that level, or I can't believe this guy's doing this. So,
Oh, wow. Shout out to Fish. He said, at least Bogdanovich had a hot game last night, so he should cool off. I think he dropped 38. Bogdanovich has actually been pouring in big points a lot recently.
Wow.
I mean, he's averaging like 18 on the season, I think.
Yeah.
The Hawks are also expected to get back. We can confirm when we see their most recent injury updates and starting lineups after our ad break. But Jalen Johnson, who's been out for a while with that sprained ankle, there was a report from Shams earlier this morning saying the Hawks were expecting to get him the green light tonight. So still no Trae, but another very solid weapon who, I mean, Jalen Johnson's been great for the Hawks this season.
Yeah.
And they sorely missed him. So we will take a look at what's going on with the Bulls and Hawks injury reports on the other side of this quick ad shout out.
Let's do this.
To our sponsors. While we're doing that, and you know what to do. Hit that like button, Bulls Nation.
Joey wants it.
Joey wants it. Troll Joe
Wants it more.
needs it.
Got to have it.
Pregame tonight brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. Hopefully some of y'all got some fun Prize Picks in for these women's Elite 8 games, the first of which just got underway. We got Caitlin Clark playing against Angel Reese right now.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. And then we have the other Elite 8 game later on deck tonight. You can still get some Prize Picks in for that one, UConn and USC. LSU currently up on Iowa 31-26 after 1.
Okay.
But we still have plenty of time if you want to get some Prize Picks in for this Bulls-Hawks matchup. Or now that we know that the Final Four in the men's college hoops is set, make some Prize Picks on that too. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers that you're picking. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, maybe robots, maybe Russian bots, maybe Rudy Gobert, I don't know. Did you see Rudy complain about that Caruso box out the other night?
I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
I'm like, what?
I really did. I couldn't believe that. But
Rudy.
It's one of the reasons we don't like Rudy Gobert.
Ever since he touched all those microphones at the beginning of COVID, man.
Exactly. Like I said, one of the reasons. Yes.
I mean,
there are several.
Goodwill, gone.
Yes, out.
At Prize Picks, you just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 different player stat projections and then watch the winnings roll in. You can do it with college hoops. You can do it with NBA. You can do it with NHL, whatever you want. And right now, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with, as I said, basketball, hockey, college basketball on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Right now, go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's right. Deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO with that promo code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks.
Joyce Mathis, producer extraordinaire, whose parents are George and Lisa, and also has a sister. What time is it?
Get up.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events nearest you with killer last-minute deals. Views from your seat. Best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour. I said an hour after it starts. What? It is not the place. No. Hot take, Sarah. It is the place to find last-minute seats, find exclusive flash deals, and sponsored deals on tickets for football, hockey, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. And with zone deals, you pick the section, and Game Time does the selecting for an average savings of, drumroll pack, 18%. And Game Time guarantee means you'll always, and I mean always, get the best price possible. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code CHGO. $20 off your first purchase is what your wonderful self is going to get. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Because Matthew Peck, please tell Sarah, what time is it? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight, Bulls and Hawks. Bulls injury report, same as it's been for the last few days, which was just Caruso and Ayo both being listed probable. Caruso with that ankle, that bum ankle that's still been bothering him, and Ayo with this non-COVID respiratory illness that he's been playing through. Both given the green light again tonight, so your Bulls starting five is the same as we've become accustomed to over the last few weeks. Coby and Ayo in the backcourt, DeMar, Caruso, and Vooch.
Okay.
It's, for all of the players who still just remain out and out and out some more, at least for the most part, this group we've become accustomed to being the starting five have been mostly healthy. Coby was out for a while with the hip. Caruso has left some games and returned to said game multiple times in the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
But there's some semblance of consistency here, knowing what Billy will have at his disposal every night.
Yeah, and that's what you want. And I'm sure they want to know exactly who's going to be out there so he knows what to do out there on the floor, especially with the starting lineup. Because, again, the Bulls are at the point where they're almost putting me at power forward and Matt at point guard and Joey at center. They're running out of options is my point I'm trying to make right here. But, yeah, man, knowing that those guys are going to be out there, going to be healthy, and say what you want about Vooch, he's just always steady and always reliable as far as being that body that you need out there. And it's the same with DeMar DeRozan. Those two guys are going to be there, and especially Ayo Dosunmu, who is always going to be out there playing for the Bulls, man. So, yeah, giving them that consistency, knowing who's going to be, makes it a little bit easier to game plan for your starting five. Now, the rest of the bench and everything like that, that's what Billy's going to have to get creative and do some hoping and some praying and some wishing on a star. Hopefully get some offense out of those guys that can come in the game. So I think that's what it's going to boil down to, Matt, is the other guys, like the bench players, because usually when the Bulls have somebody who goes off, it's somebody in the starting lineup. And you just mentioned Drummond being that dude who was in the starting lineup who went off. it's not going to be about that. It's going to be the other guys off the bench because the Bulls are lacking that depth. We'll see. It could be Torrey Craig. We'll see if Dalen Terry has a game. We'll see. But, yeah, that's how he is right now for the Chicago Bulls. State of the Union for him.
With the Atlanta Hawks, meanwhile, your starting five is going to be Vit Krejci, DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capela, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Dejounte, who's been cooking recently. We will get to that in a second. But so Jalen Johnson, who has started at times for this Hawks team this season, they're going to bring him off the bench in his first game back.
Okay.
We'll see if he's on any kind of minutes restriction or if they throw him out there and let him run.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson this season for the Hawks averaging 16 points and 8.5 boards. So that's a big piece that they get back.
That can definitely help.
Meanwhile, still plenty of injuries, obviously. Trae Young dealing with that pinky finger. Some kind of, I can't remember if it was like a cartilage tear or some kind of tear.
Is it a shooting hand?
His left.
On the left?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So he remains out. They're still hopeful that he might be able to come back at some point, maybe for the playing game. I don't know.
Okay.
But Onyeka Okongwu remains out with his sprained toe. AJ Griffin, son of Bulls legend Adrian Griffin, also remains out with a sprained ankle. And then, of course, they also lost Sadiq Bey for the season with that torn ACL.
Yeah, that was big. He was having a good season, too, man. That hurt them as well. AJ Griffin kind of been on the downcline. The decline for this season. He had just a really solid rookie year. Hit a couple of game winners. One of them was against the Bulls that he hit. So, yeah, I hope he can get better, man, because I thought he was a really good player for them.
And then Coby Buffkin, who actually has come in and played some decent minutes for the Hawks this season, was listed questionable with also a sprained toe. How many teams or how many sprained toes can you have on one team?
It's a joke in there somewhere. I just don't know
right?
where.
I mean, we've been also talking as Bulls fans, how many foot injuries can we have on one injury report?
Yes.
How many season-ending foot injuries can we have? Because right now it appears to be three. Between Zach, Pat, and Julian.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Which, by the way, I saw, for the record, Coby Buffkin is available. So he's available off the bench tonight for Atlanta. But another report on Julian from Billy earlier at his media availability sounds like we're getting closer and closer to we're not going to see Julian again this season.
Yes.
Let's see here. This is a tweet from Casey Johnson. Julian Phillips remains in a walking boot. Given he has done nothing on the court, strong possibility the Bulls will run out of a runway to ramp him back up. The timing of a potential second 10-day contract for Javonte, which we talked about in postgame last night, could be impacted by the fact the Bulls don't play again until Friday. And then also on that note, Javonte Green is actually out tonight, excused for a personal reason. So no Javonte for the Bulls tonight.
Ooh, that's big.
And this is the 10th and final day of his current 10-day contract. So
they kind of needed him.
Right, exactly.
But I hope if it's personal reason, do your thing, bro. I understand.
Precisely. Our guy Goat actually gave a little bit more context on that with Javonte.
Okay.
If the Bulls, this is a tweet from our guy the Goat just now, if the Bulls waive someone and sign Javonte to a regular contract, he would be eligible for a Bulls postseason roster if the Bulls could win their way out of the play-in tournament.
Interesting.
They could do so without going into the luxury tax. The March 1st deadline is for players who were waived by another team. Since Javonte wasn't waived, he wouldn't be impacted by that rule.
Yeah.
Bulls could sign Javonte to another 10-day. If they did, it would end at the latest on the last day of the regular season.
Yeah.
They would have to waive someone in order to bring Javonte back and put him on a regular contract for being on the playoff roster, because the Bulls roster is already at 15 when they promoted Onuralp Bitim.
That's going to be interesting if that happens like that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. But, yeah, we definitely want to see Javonte back out there on the floor.
A lot of variables that may come down to meaning not much of anything, because the other big report that we got as far as national NBA headlines over the last 24 hours is that Joel Embiid, he come back.
He on his way.
He might play tomorrow night.
Yeah.
According to multiple reports.
Against OKC, I believe.
Correct? Right. And assuming that the Sixers can handle the Heat in that 7-8 matchup, assuming that that's what that stays at, then you're talking about the Bulls, if they beat Atlanta in the 9-10, facing an Embiid-led Sixers team in the second playing game.
Yeah. Sounds tough.
Also,
look, Lars said, "Oh no,
oh no."
And G says, "Damn." Yeah. Not good, man. Not good, and not just an Embiid coming back, but a focused Embiid. coming back, and arrested Embiid coming back. Now again, he has to get acclimated. I can't stress that enough. He's got to get some time to get his knee going and get everything back smooth.
Right.
But this is enough time. There are 2 weeks left in the season. He's got time to get it right, man. So there'll be about 6 games in between.
Enough of a ramp-up time, you would think. And also, like, for all the talk about how there are just no, like, easy automatic matchups for the top half of the bracket out west and how the Western Conference playoffs, picture is just crazy.
Yes.
Imagine the Celtics, who have this, like, double-digit game lead and lock on the 1 seed in the East. Could be, staring down the barrel of a situation where, as a reward for all of those regular season wins, their 1-8 matchup is against Embiid and the Sixers.
Yeah. No, it's why I enjoy the play-in so much, man. You never know. You don't know, man, who it's going to be. Honestly, even playing the Heat would be a bad matchup for him. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, playoff Heat and playoff Jimmy.
Correct.
Also not a fun 1-8 matchup.
The Bucks found that out last year. Like, it's not a fun matchup. So it's not going to be easy for them. But they've been proven to be the best team all year in the regular season. So, yes, your reward is you got to go play a tough team. It's not going to be easy, dog. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. But got to focus on the Bulls right now, getting to this play-in and playing ball. Come on, Coby White with the 30. That's all I'm here for.
Yippee.
Is to watch Coby White and IO ball.
Yippee. Yippee.
I got enough joy for us both. Don't worry about it. I got you. Sir.
Obviously the tallest test for IO and that Bulls defense tonight, we'll see how who takes the primary guard on Dejounte out of the gate tonight and who guards him the most between Coby, Io, Caruso. But Dejounte has been on a bit of a heater recently. He was just named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. That was announced earlier today. The Hawks went 3-1 last week. And there were his averages you see on screen, 28 points, 10 dimes, nearly 6 assists as the Hawks went 3-1. That included Dejounte dropping a career-high 44 points in their second dramatic win over the Celtics in the span of 3 games. The first of which was that crazy 30-point comeback. And then the second of which, 44 points for Dejounte, who some of that 44 was his game winner in OT as time expired, essentially. So
he's a problem.
I mean, he's been a problem. It's like there's a reason the Hawks went out and made that big swing to get him. Gave up a lot of draft capital to get him from San Antonio to pair him in that backcourt with Trey. I think Hawks would agree, whether it be their fans or the people running that team, that they have fallen a bit short of expectations since making that Dejounte trade. But like the Bulls, been dealing with a lot of, a rash of injuries this season. And so in Trae Young's absence over the last couple months with his hand injury, obviously I keep saying Javante.
It's all right, man.
They sound so similar.
They do.
Dejounte.
They're both fun to say.
I should just say Murray.
Yes.
Murray has taken on a larger role. He's gone from like taking 16 or 17 shots a game to in this stretch of games without Trey taking like 23 or 24 shots. So his Player of the Week stats that we just showed you, 28 and 10 dimes, significant jump from his full season stats this year which are just shy of like 23 points a game and 6 assists a game. So he's doing more shooting, more scoring, and more playmaking in Trey's absence. Obviously, the Bulls' primary focus tonight will be to try to slow him down.
And I do know that and you mentioned this, understand they wanted to pair him with Trae Young, but this is also the other reason they got him was because Trae Young is often injured. He's often taking time off, and it's hurt their team because he's honestly their best player. And so getting a guy like Dejounte where you don't miss a beat might change how your team moves, but you don't miss a beat as far as the points and the assists are concerned. And you get a little uptick on the rebounds and the defense as well, because Dejounte can really play some defense, man. So this is kind of becoming like his style, his team, because Trey's been out a little bit more than usual this season. So Dejounte is very comfortable in the role that he's in, man, playing the 1 or the 2, but knowing that he can be at the 1, this is where he became the all-star at. This is where he became, beloved at when he was in San Antonio. So he's in the right place, kind of the right time. And everybody is kind of vibing around it, man. And it clicks for him when he's doing his thing.
First focus for the Bulls defensively tonight, containing Dejounte, because you don't have to worry about containing Trey. But then also, I mentioned that Bogdanović has been pouring in some big point totals in their recent stretch of games where they've been winning. And I think he also had a big game in one of those 2 Bulls wins over Atlanta earlier this season. That dude can just get hot, like, instantly.
Yeah.
And we know that the Bulls have struggled all season as a team that gives up a lot of open looks from three.
Yeah.
Allow their opponents to hit a huge amount of threes on those open looks. Just look no further than that loss to Brooklyn back on Friday night. We'll see if the Bulls can kind of keep their own hot streak going from their win last night. Because in that win over the Wolves, boy, not just Caruso, but that entire Bulls team shot well from three. And knowing how often the Bulls and Hawks get themselves into high-scoring affairs, hopefully the Bulls can match whatever the Hawks are doing from behind the arc tonight.
Now, did you mention Clint Capela is going to be playing tonight?
He is in that starting lineup.
Okay, so I'm now more also interested in watching that game down low as well, because even that game where it was like the 24 that Drummond went off at, like he was kind of like the biggest dude out on the floor, and he took full advantage of it. So having Capela back in, that's going to be interesting to watch, especially with Vooch being back in too. So I'm interested in watching how that kind of works and what Billy decides to do. If he goes back to Will Gottlieb's favorite big man lineup, that's going to be interesting to see as well. I think I'll be watching that also, Matt, because they were getting killed on the offensive boards yesterday when they were playing that team, bro. And they don't even have Cat out there, but Nas Reed and Gobert was still killing them on the boards. So that's going to be interesting, man. I'm interested to watch that.
This is true. A few more minutes before we got to get out of here because game time's right around the corner. We saw Coby knock down some big shots in the fourth quarter of last night's game, a very close win over Minnesota.
Yeah.
Obviously the final dagger was him hitting that big three to put the Bulls up, whatever it was, 109, 101.
Yeah.
But before that, he had a huge bucket in transition, but he had a modest number of shots.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about how he's been cold shooting coming back in the stretch of games from his hip injury.
Yeah.
I think he finished 6 of 10 last night. So, more efficient than some of his games recently where he's been shooting like 33% from the field.
Yeah, man.
And I believe of that 6 of 10, it was 4 of 6 from downtown.
Yeah.
So you love that efficiency from Coby, but you wonder if tonight is the night finally where you will see the efficiency stay there, but also coupled with a more normal, from what we've come to expect, Coby volume of shots. Because, our guy Go was talking about it in last night's postgame. Billy and the Bulls offense relied heavily on high number of shots from DeMar and Vooch last night, whereas Coby kind of took a backseat as far as number of shots taken.
Yeah, man. I just want Coby to get back into that rhythm because he was in a tremendous rhythm to start. And it feels like I want to credit other teams also because, again, he's on the bulletin board now. So the way they're playing him defensively has been interesting because we've seen Coby make these moves, cut into the lane, and guys are collapsing on him. And when they collapse on him, they know he wants to kick it out to that baseline. And it was a guy standing there. He missed that play at least 2 or 3 times in the game yesterday, man. So his turnovers were like that. But in the fourth quarter, he was like, well, I'm just going to shoot it. Like, you all want to do that? Fine. I'm just going to shoot the basketball. So I appreciate him finding his way in the game, which is, again, something that he had trouble doing previously before, man. So I'm interested to watch it. I want Coby to be back on his square because he has been absolutely amazing to watch. And one of the reasons people still actually watch the Chicago Bulls is his development and his growth along with Ayo Dosunmu, man. So we just want to see that stuff continue.
Indeed. The other thing I'm curious about tonight is, as we mentioned, no Javonte.
Yeah.
Excused for personal reasons.
Yeah.
Somebody had a great joke of like, well, so that means the other 4 of him are still available, though, right?
Very nice.
But so
very nice.
Javonte has been playing somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes in this last stretch of a few games on this 10-day contract. And the people who have taken a hit since Javonte's arrival, minutes-wise, have been Batum, Javon, if he was getting in there at all. And so now, tonight, without Javonte, will we see Billy shrink his rotation and basically just use Torrey Craig, Drummond, and Dalen Terry off the bench and go 8 deep? Or will we see Batum get out there for some tick? Will we see Javon get out there for some tick?
The answer is yes. Like, I think everybody's going to get a shot, out there to play and everything, man.
He couldn't really use a lot more minutes out of his starters than he did last night because, hey, look, surprise, surprise, DeMar had 39.
Yeah.
Coby had 41.
Hey.
Caruso played 35.
Hey, shout out! Oh, my man Renee, my man Curmudgeon Renee out here doing his thing. Offensive rebounds were even last night versus Minnesota, so they were not killed on the offensive board. Yeah, I'm going to need you to go ahead and take a look at that fourth quarter and see why those things became even, my friend.
That's why it nearly turned into a disastrous fourth quarter.
Literally one possession.
Bulls could not get a rebound to save their life.
They literally had a possession where they had 4 offensive rebounds against them in the fourth. Like, I understand what those numbers say, but honestly, go look at that fourth quarter.
Dude.
And when that happened, man, like, that was getting destroyed. They were getting killed on those offensive boards, bro.
The Minnesota Timberwolves offense and their inefficiency in the fourth quarter last night, in crunch time specifically last night, it was wild. Shout out to our pal Jason Pat of Cash Considerations, another member of the Bulls Pod fam.
What up?
He had this great thread about how, like, inexplicable and unlikely the T-Wolves offense in clutch minutes were in that game last night. Get this. This is from his thread yesterday. The Timberwolves missed all 4 of their clutch time 3-point attempts. They missed both of their clutch time free throws, and they had 4 turnovers after going up 99-96 on the Bulls with 5 minutes left.
Amazing.
The Bulls' defensive rating was officially 0.0 in nearly 5 full clutch minutes. The Wolves missed all 6 of their shots. Again, 2 free throws, 4 turnovers. Anthony Edwards' basket did not count as a clutch basket because they were at that point down 7 points. That is hysterical.
That's wow.
A bit of an unlikely anomaly.
Joey, I wanted to go back to a comment real quick. It was from Zach. Zach had a comment that kind of made me laugh right there. He said, the one about his girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend says she hates Trae Young's stupid face because he's too cocky for no reason. # wife material. Is this you? Is this you kind of telling your girlfriend, hey, like, what kind of want to make that move? You know, I'm just saying, I'd like to know, sir, if that's the move you like to make. And Joey, there's one more when someone was talking about Adam Amin being Goon of the Night. And
I saw that.
If you wanted to see that, yes. Heard you picking Adam Goon tonight. I just wanted to make sure you heard Adam sign off at the end of the night where he gave the definition of marsupio or whatever poetic. I did hear that.
I missed that entirely.
No, he definitely did that.
Okay.
That was part of his sign off, was giving that. I also let Adam know that he was Goon of the Night last night. He is absolutely thrilled. He's absolutely thrilled to be Goon of the Night for that, man. So, yes, appreciate you, Jeff, for pointing that out.
And shout out to Adam because I wasn't aware of this until I saw it on his IG today. So, he and Stacey were in Brooklyn on Friday for that Bulls-Nets game. And then, obviously, in Minnesota last night for Bulls-Wolves. In between that, he flew to San Diego to do an MLB Fox game for the Padres.
Wow.
So, he went Brooklyn, San Diego, Minneapolis, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, three games.
Incredible, man.
That man is a hero.
His work ethic is so attractive.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And then tonight, doing the second night of a back-to-back.
Right back
like
here.
back home, but that's 4 games and 4 nights on the East Coast, the West Coast, and then back to the Midwest.
You know, I'm going to ask him one day, hopefully he'll indulge us. I would love to see his calendar. Like, if he has a calendar from like a year ago or 2 years ago. I want to see it.
I feel like I've mentioned this on our show before. If you don't follow Adam Amin on Insta, do, because you'll also see some of his dope like DJing videos and stuff.
Yes.
And some fun pics and videos that the Bulls photography team take of him traveling with the team on their road trips.
Yes.
But you will also see, especially when he's overlapping his NFL on Fox and his Bulls broadcasting duties. He has a giant whiteboard at his place that he just draws a month calendar on. And it'll be like color coded with, is it Bulls broadcasting? Is it NFL? Whatever. And looking at his month long calendar for the months of like November and December gives me anxiety. Because it's like fly here, Bulls game, NFL, Sunday, Sunday, Bulls road trip, Bulls back home, out here for this NFL game.
Wow. So
and the fact I get stressed going between my house and this office 4 days a week.
So the fact that he even takes time out to even come here and indulge us is just even more amazing. It just talks about how incredible he is.
We got to get that off-season appearance on the calendar.
Got to. Find a place for us, man, because we coming. Find a place for us, dog.
Damn right. That's it. We're past 7. Tip-off right around the corner.
First bucket, Joe.
Thanks for watching pregame.
Io owns the Hawks.
I would assume a first bucket. You heard it here. Get some picks in on Prize Picks. Have some fun. Shout out also to our friends at Game Time. Find yourself some cheap tickets. For Joey, Big Dave, myself, and Will the Goat, who, again, follow for his in-game reporting and updates from the UC, Will_Gottlieb. Thanks for watching. Hit the like on your way out. We will talk to you post-game right here in a couple hours. Let's go.
Peace.
Huge.